Alright guys, welcome back to the stream again today. So, had to run out, get some paints, and get a couple miniatures actually. So I got my pennant that came in, I got my jump pack intercessors, my, it says Razorback, but I'm going to be using it as a Rhino. Apparently they come in the same box. I don't know what the difference is. Apparently, oh, the Razorback has spiky bit in the front, Rhino does not. Reaver Squad, Primaris Librarian, and a Apothecary. So I have everything for Blood Ravens now. And then the new paints that I picked up are all from Vallejo. We have an ink paint, which is just black. We have this yellow for the Necrons. And we have this blue, and this blue is going to be the plasma color. I'm excited to try that out. To look at how that compares to the other one from Army Painter. I think the one from Army Painter was just too dark. I wasn't a fan of it. Trying out this open. Open for like an electric. That's my hope anyway. Whether or not that actually happens, find out here in a second. This is supposed to be fluorescent, should glow under black light. I know the Army Painter one does. It does seem to be a lot Army Painter. So I have to test that out. Probably need to grab the other one that I did. Let's see, I did those in green. The blue one? Yes, this was the. Apparently, all I did was this small little plasma pistol. Take a look here. Actually looks to be fairly. But I do like that it's thinner. Forgot to do the white on the vents. We'll do that quick. the white on the vents here. Then we are going to do blue over top of it. Very happy that I was able to get everything for this army. Actually do white on the gun now. Plasma guns are something I struggle with. My pop out chat, which never popped back in. Grab that in this. Alright, then we're gonna grab gunmetal from AK. Parts on the because we got the plasma guns down here. Flashlight's gonna be black as well for gunmetal too. Canisters down here. Gunmetal. Now for doing the plasma itself, kind of talked about this before in the video. I look for where, for the OSL I should say, not plasma, but I look for where the light would kind of go. So like looking at angled upwards, looking at the bottom of this here on the shoulder pad. Honestly, a little on the arm and a little bit on the elbow pad. This guy and how he's holding plasma gun. It's really all. Not gonna get a lot of OS. I will say I wish I had fluorescent white. Good for like flashlight. Alright, so I think overall, between the Vallejo fluorescent blue, Army Painter plasma coil blue, actually really, I do think adding the black on top of the coils, go where it's colder, definitely worth it. Do this. I'm going to use our brush almost like a dry brush. I want to get just a little bit on. Just enough darkness. Kind of like so. Bring it up close to the camera. See the transition here from where it's really bright and hot to colder. I don't think I'm going to go back to Army Painter one, just because I like that the Vallejo one is thinner. I know I could thin the Army Painter one, but I don't think I'm back. Alright. Add some white on the flashlight. That way it actually looks like a flashlight. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did buy Vallejo black ink. Not sure what that does. Try it out quick. If I had to take a guess, guessing it's gonna be like a wash. My guess. Hoping more like a panel liner. How thin it is. Reloaded my brush a lot. Kind of like a panel liner. Personally, I think be better off using Army Painter. Well, wipes away easy enough with my finger. You kind of go over. Background. Talking to her cousin. Very loud. Yes, I don't know if it's worth it or not. Doesn't seem bad. Probably use it again, especially on like an apothecary, which I do have one of those too. But honestly, it's just like a very thin black paint. I guess take that with what you will. All right. Go put the captain back. Put this other intercessor sergeant back. We have this guy is pretty much done for right now. I think we're gonna paint this intercessor sergeant. This guy. Made him last night. Like the way he looks. I did pick up another paint too. Citadel. It's this shade. It's supposed to be pretty good. Nope. Supposed to be pretty good for purity seals. So we will see. That's what I'm hoping for. But I do need to step outside in order to prime that miniature, so I'm gonna go find my sandals quick. Where are my... There. Give me a second. Alright, and I need to take off my sweatshirt. I don't want to paint it black. One more second. Grab chat's cool. Alright. Cool. We got YouTube, we got Twitch, and TikTok. All of those up. Make sure you prime your miniatures in a well-ventilated area. Or step outside for it. what I'm doing. I'm glad I found out that trick with the glue. Now I can build my Rupert Marines and I can play with my Thousand Suns until I have the time, the patience to paint them fully. Bootstrap. Wanted to organize it for a second. Give it just. Actually pretty dry. The sergeants, they have black, they have the cream helmet, they have the black regalia. I think I'm almost out of this. They should have kept the Black Templar logo on this Power Fist. Because it does make sense. Oh. Files, you get to ban a person, they actually ban them. Ban. Deny that. Another bot. I'm really. I think I've said that a couple times now. Red that's on the Blood Ravens. Don't have. I do think that next week Saturday, provided I don't have any I'll be guys very excited. The Blood Ravens, Blood Angels from what Miles said. army that he has 1,000 points. That's built. Okay. Built and at 1,000 points. Heck. Voice chat. I will say the color scheme of the Flesh Tear is fantastic. It is very similar to Blood Raven, very similar to Blood Angels. It's just red and black. Don't get any more. Like honestly, right now, paint his legs red. It's a Flesh Terror. I think if I ever get commissioned to do Flesh Terror army, paint it the exact same way. Paint my Blood Ravens red. That's the color they want. I like the metallic. A lot of people prefer non-metallic, but I like it. I do think though when I get the Blood Raven transfers, maybe I will put a was not thinking about putting a transfer on the Power Fist itself with the shoulder pad being right above it, and that's the one that gets the transfer sheet for the insignia. Just built this Intercessor Sergeant last night. The 5-man squad. Happy with how this one. I don't understand why they're allowed to have a Thunder Hammer, but they don't sell the Intercessors with Thunder Hammers. Go out and buy Thunder Hammer separately. It's irritating when they things like got 2 on Twitch and nobody on TikTok. Like varies on TikTok. It's weird. It is also a Friday, not the week. Yep. What's up, Valentino? Valentina? Or with Valentina? I really need the ping sound to go off. Chat. I will say I'm not exactly looking forward to building all of these. That I just picked up. What's up, Miguel? Going. Suppose I haven't said it in the stream, or technically my stream. But for every follow I get on YouTube, I am going to put $1 towards a Warlord Titan. If you guys want to see that, follow on YouTube. Same as TikTok, same as Twitch. For the username XX Dragonfang Creations. Appreciate this. We also have a Discord. Draw off your paints you've been working on. I'm thinking when we get to probably about 1,000 followers, giveaway on TikTok. Now the reason why I say 1,000 because I grew to 100 that, so getting to 1,000, a couple more. Going, Danny. Get to 1,000 followers, we'll start doing it. TikTok. We have two baseball minutes that up. Speaking of TikTok, I don't think I've done my post today. I don't think streaming counts as your post today. All right. Here, the cream that's gonna be black trim, brown done. All right. Got it quite white. You guys are wondering what white I use. I use Corax white from Citadel. Put it into painter white bottle. Washed it out and everything. But I prefer the squeeze bottles. I do think for this sergeant, for all the sergeants, black, yeah. But something. Well, she's in the going lean. You guys have all had a good Christmas. Rambling on Boston. Thought as I think with this one, we're actually gonna do the dark tone first. We're gonna do dark tone first, then we're gonna do battle damage, quote unquote. There's gonna be a difference on how it looks. part of the gun. Really good to get to test out the new paint. Bought Purity Seal. I think this is an army too, red and white. Not exactly sure. I'll show off quick. Alright. Just the silver, just the red, the white. Gonna do the cream next. Do the cream next. Do the purity seal stuff. Oh no. Do cream. Here's the hard part about doing the silver dry brush at the end. That I don't want to do the silver dry brush over the belt and the sheath. But I do want to do the silver dry brush over the black, the guns, and the rest of the armor. It's almost like we have to do the brown last. Brown also gets the dark wash. Hard part. Being that we have 2 viewers on Twitch, I would assume Miles is in Twitch, not in voice chat. Am I correct, Miles? Yep. Miles is being shy. It's calling back after this. How's it going? Follow the stream. Why is my camera not in focus? Finder inactive. Press any button. Really thinking that I get a different background. I don't know why I'm doing touch-ups now. Yeah, I don't understand it. If I go manual focus, I can get it to stay in focus for this. But if I go back too far, then you don't see the detail. If I go too far in, then I end up painting like over here or something like that, and you guys don't see anything. I need like almost a auto adjusting camera. So that's it's very interesting, and I don't have a good method to the madness yet. At some point I will. Hopefully sooner rather than This is model number 2 that I've painted today. Yes, this is going to be for my Blood Ravens army. So I have 6 models done, 7 of the 1,000 points. I think we're about a quarter of the way through for the models. Nice. I started back in April of this year. The game is very different. Not like anything else that I've ever played. Um, it's it's fun. It is long. So, when you do play your first game, expect to be there probably 4 hours. And honestly, my LGS, they normally play King of the Colosseum, which is 500 points, and can't have anything toughness. It's 10 or more, so it kind of limits what you can take. But the games do go by a lot faster. Now that being said, I have seen games of King of the Colosseum that take as long as 1,000 points. Otherwise, Combat Patrol is a good starting point for if you want to get in play a game. Kill Team box set. Some of those are really cool. I've looked at wanting to get to the Alpha Legion one. And Tyranids, the issue I have with Tyranids, because I actually started out with a Tyranid army. The Tyranid army is going to make you want to quit painting. At least it did for me. And I say that just because it's a horde army and you're painting the same thing over and over and over. And if you don't mind painting 40 Termagants the same color, that's in the same position, can't really do anything special with them, then go for it. If you don't like it, I wouldn't recommend it. Yes, they are very, very repetitive. That is what I did not like about them. Second, I can grab a couple, show you. I was going off the Behemoth um, Hive. Behemoth Hive Fleet? It's the one where Old One Eye is from. No, Behemoth is the name, but I don't remember if it's Fleet, what. Those were some of my first models that I painted. But if you join the Discord, you can show off what you're painting. Like seeing painting. Also like seeing collections. Makes me feel less bad about myself for getting into the hobby and spending so much. Can't make up my mind on what army I want. Like every time there was a new codex release, I wanted that army. Bad. Oh, we have the only reason why Black Templars are not my main army. No, it's because I talk quietly. When I'm talking to myself, or quote unquote myself, I tend to talk quieter. It's weird. Let's see. Leapers and Swarmlord. So, back this up. Here's my... Get this all the way in. Yes, I can. Here's my Swarmlord. This was way before I learned about washes and everything else. I was just pretty much going at it. And here is the Van Roy Leaper. Yeah, those are what I started out with for Tyranids. Thank you. Since then, I have learned about Thousand Suns, and I love the way that the Thousand Suns look. And I love the Mutolith Vortex Beasts. Thank you, Space Marines, too. So I painted a Mutolith Vortex Beast with a Slaughter Brute head. This was, I don't know, probably 2 months ago. Yes, I am getting better. Thank you, Miles. And I do think my favorite model that I have painted yet. There he is. Was the first, and I want to redo him, but is Lionel Johnson. I think I could do him better. This is by far my favorite model that I've painted. Why is it focusing on my hand and not model? Yeah. Yeah, the bases, I liked them at first, but going back and looking at them, I'm not the biggest fan. And honestly, I'm still not the biggest fan of my bases that I've been doing. Alright. I think that was enough show and tell for a little bit. Thank you again. Yeah, I'm very excited to stick to an army. I was looking at Necrons, and Necrons, they kind of have the issue of a horde army. And surprisingly, there's quite a bit of melee that they have. Melee armies are weird. just because there's a lot of times where they're not very good. But then if you go up against a shooting army that doesn't know what they're doing, they're extremely good. But then if you go up to Grey Knights, you're not going to have a fun time. And it's not going to be good for anybody other than the Grey Knights player. Honestly, I think I'm going to refuse playing Grey Knights for a little bit until I get better at playing the game. Also, one thing that I have noticed a lot is that if you're working on fine detail and you hold your breath, it helps a lot. I'm the same way when it comes to the different armies. That's why I ended up having Thousand Suns, Necrons, Tyranids, Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines. Um, Being able to paint so many different color schemes, even, I think is fantastic. Like my Bastor's army. I did a oxidized copper for it. So it has the copper, it's got that teal, and I did a really dark wash over the top of it. And I did an orange glow because I don't see it all the time. Most things have that blue glow. I think orange with copper goes very well. Yeah, I'm very happy with how that orange turned out. One of my favorite things to look at, especially when it glows. So if you take a black light to it, it will glow, and then um, the light shading will glow as well. The light source. Black on the S's. Sorry, I had to hold my breath. Hold it again. Just so that way get the Alright. Back through. Finish it up with the cream. Thick. It actually looks like he got vents on his helmet. Have to black a little. It is weird going from fine details to just following line. Very fine details, you want almost no paint on your brush. Following a line, it doesn't really matter. Don't want too much paint on there that it spills over, but just enough. Are you working on anything as you're watching follow? Watching. Nice. What army's that for? I guess Miles was curious too. Ah, that what is that? The things from like Target or something like that, where it's like the heroes. That just like a mini of the month. Ah, yeah, getting the correct amount of paint on the brush, I found if you thin the paints, it's almost easier, and also depending on the brushes that you use. Personally, I have tried, I think about 6 different brands now, and the only one, and this is not sponsored by any way, the only brushes that I actually do like is the Golden Maple Master Series. I think they hold their tip for a very long time. Yeah, the cheaper brushes, they'll definitely have a harder time. I think I went on Amazon for my first Golden Maple set. It was like $30, and it came with like 3 or 4 dry brushes and 4 or 5 different brushes. Miles, why don't you just hop in the voice chat? Unless you feel like typing. If you want to type, then type. I've also noticed that if you have too much paint on your brush, you can use a paper towel to get a lot of it out. Go back and soak up where you put too much paint. Miles is not touch up here. Then I think we can actually get to dry brushes. Maybe. Going with the maybe not. Realize that section of this helmet is cream. They should go back and do the gold. Insignia on the shoulder pad. And times like this where I get quiet, try not to be quiet. But also, I feel like I don't want to be that loud. Just because I get other people at home. Want to be considerate. But at the same time, it's like, I'm just talking to myself. I can talk in a normal volume. Red gold. Just so that way all right. I missed gold next to the bit of the red sheath. Oh, nobody would have really seen it, but I'll know that I missed. I won't like that. Alright. So now we can go start with the Natural steel from AK. Why I pour so much out? Wasting. Do the couple things on the power fist, on the guns, and we can start doing airbrushing. Get there, I promise. I keep saying it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I hate painting brown things just because everything will look fine and then you look from it or you look at it from another angle, unless you miss something. Barrel. At some point I will go back and I'll drill out this gun, the pistol, but that's not gonna be today. Done with it. No, I think. Alright, can make sure this dry brush is nice and flexible. Test on my quick. Now that is one tip I could give you if you want follow. If you're painting black armor, black Templars or Ari, how you say it? Once you painted the black, then go back and use like a dry brush of silver, blue, or whatever on top of it. And transfers, they're not hard. Um, honestly, transfers they'll take you probably like 30 seconds is all you have to leave them on the sponge for. Don't really have to leave the sponge for a long time. I will say with transfers, try to cut them out as close to the edges as you can, even if it means going back with a knife or a pair of scissors. And if you buy makeup eggs, or if you steal them from wife, girlfriend, mom, whatever, but makeup eggs, if you put them on like the bottom or something like that, wet it first, then put the transfer sheet on there, wet the transfer sheet again, then wet the area you're going to put it on and just kind of line it up, and then use a wet brush to move it. That's how I do my transfer sheets. Yeah, I've done transfer sheets. I think the hardest one to do is the Thousand Suns ones, just because of they're so much bigger. A lot of silver. Thousand Suns ones are going to be the hardest ones to do, just because it's a big round circle and there's like no relief cuts. Go up and touch up some red, little too heavy for the metal, wear and tear on it, on this arm, back, and the power pack. I just have to replace this. Oh, yeah, it's almost done. Another one done. The 2, 4, 5 for the, not including the others that I've painted. 1,000 point version. Yeah. Ever since I learned that trick about the black, using the silver dry brush over it, or even if you want to use gray, could use a darker gray into a lighter gray dry brush. I use it on a lot of things now. Also, to help clean your brushes, add a little bit of soap to your water, just like a drop of Dawn dish soap. Mix it up, help clean your brushes faster. And it'll also help with keeping the tips brushes stay cleaner. Alright, I think we're going to do the brown now. I think it's the only thing really left. Yeah, I stole Azrael as most of the Dark Angels to be a Judicator and a Lieutenant for my Blood Ravens. I stole a Wolf Priest, and then I'm also stealing a unit of, what is it? I think they're Headhunters. Those are going to be my Blade Guard Veterans squad. Yeah, I wish I knew about that soap trick much earlier. My painting, just learned about it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month. I don't like this arm for Intercessor, just because I'm not a fan of the gun strap, but I will say it does make a bike. I hate painting it. Yeah, and then you'll only get faster at the decals. I found sometimes a tweezers are pretty handy when doing them. And I found if I use my fingers, it'll just stick to my fingers, even if they're wet. So don't even bother with your fingers. A wet brush, and you can do that. Otherwise, like I said, those makeup eggs, they help a lot, especially when flattening down the transfers. You can go to Dollar Tree or something like that and buy a bunch. Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, one of those stores. Miles, I suppose you want me to bring your Blade Guard vets for next week Saturday? We play? Are they not near Dark Angels? Blood Angels, not Dark Angels. I don't think he's listening. Such is life. I'm sure as soon as I end the stream, he'll hop in the voice call. Talk to him. Really wave to the people at TikTok. Hello, S4. Twitch chatting. Chat. Let's see here. Got the brown there. Go over it with hardened leather. I'm trying purity seal with my new color. Super excited for that. But well, I was doing purity seals before, was just painting them white, then doing a soft tone over the top of it, and I would have to do like 4 or 5 layers of soft tone. I don't want to do that many layers. Finally, talked to one of the guys at the store, and I was like, "Hey, you paint your purity seals." So they recommended. What color is that? That from Spia from Citadel. Shade. All right. Now this paint vibrator that I have, the Lab Vortex mixer, it's okay. Half the time I forget to use it. That is really thin. I don't need for this. And for at least. Apparently when it dries it looks just like parchment. We will see. Guy that I talked to did have glasses on. Yellow. Letting that other color dry. Shade, I should say. Alright, I think this was gonna have the issue have with the soft tone and that it cools up, it doesn't dry fast enough. Done, we can go over everything that dark tone. The dark tone. Probably start putting some of the paints back. That's out of my little work area. Alright, I think overall it's not a bad color for the purity seals. Better than the soft tone. Not 100% sure. I will say I do think putting a dark tone over it, the color for the purity seal, I do think that holds up better. You look like Pennywise from Welcome to Derry. Yeah. Oh, hey, how do you feel about tortas for dinner? I like tortas too, but is that a yes? Alright. Figure we can use up that steak then. Bet. Tortas for dinner it is. No, it was getting a plan first. Because really it's just bread and lettuce that we need. Alright, so love it. Like it. Love it. Love me. Puerto Rican. Is tortas Mexican or Puerto Rican food? Right. Mexican food. Pretty much. I'm sure Puerto Ricans and Mexicans have their own versions of it. How you cook the meat, the mayo you use, because normally it's like a lime mayo. I get you. Dark tone, pretty sealed. Yeah. So. Yeah. Really? That's weird. Yeah. Well, I think we got another one done. Professor Sergeant, Blood Ravens. Like I said, soon I will be grabbing the Blood Raven transfer sheets from Etsy. Probably be January when I do that. Yeah. I'm gonna end the stream here, just cause I don't want to really paint another one today. I think the rest of the day I'm just kind of relax. But Sunday I will be streaming again, and I think that one's gonna be the Dreadnought. Yeah, that one's gonna be the Dreadnought for the Blood Ravens. So, if you guys want to see that, feel free to tune in. Be at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. I don't know where you guys all are or anything else. It was nice talking with you guys and seeing you all. Follow was nice. Yeah. Again, that Discord, if you guys want to show off or anything, feel free to join it. Um, oh, YouTube. Every follow we get on YouTube is $1 towards a Warlord Titan. If you guys want to see me paint a Warlord Titan, feel free to follow on YouTube. So, but we will see you guys on Sunday then.